And so finally, God doesn't answer in like 30 seconds, and he says, "The hell with it, I'll do it myself." Cuts his hand off and splits. So after that monologue and after that situation happened, it was fairly obvious that Merle was going to come back somewhere down the road. And I think at the time Merle became this boogeyman. Every time anything bad would happen on the show, you would think Merle did that. Merle led those zombies to that encampment when they had the first zombie invasion in the encampment. Merle shot the deer that shot the boy. Yeah, Merle did everything. Merle was sort of like a boogeyman. But Merle's stash was saving Tito. All the drugs that Merle had in his little baggie, he was a smart guy. He knew, you're gonna need drugs in the zombie apocalypse. I mean, come on, right? What if you get a headache?
You're gonna get a headache.
You're gonna get a real big headache, in the zombie apocalypse.
On that roof in that peak, you're gonna get it.
Hell yeah, you will. Anyway, that's kind of how it went down.
And it makes sense to pair Merle's character with possibly the most richly written villain in comics in a long time. So, David, you're looking at the script in approach of the governor. What's going through your mind as you're reading the script and seeing the nature of the governor and seeing where his head is at? Not where his heads are kept, but where his head is at.
Well, it starts before I read the script because I knew the show. I mean, the difference for me was coming into the show, it's third season. So I came to the show as a fan. I watched the first season and loved it. I'd seen a bit of the second season. I think it was halfway through the second season when they were looking to cast the third season. So I'd seen quite a lot of it, and I wanted to be in the show. I loved it. It was great. I've known Andrew Lincoln for a long time, and when I watched the pilot, I watched it. I didn't know anything about the comic. It wasn't part of my on my radar at all. And I watched the pilot because of Andrew Lincoln and also Lenny James, who played Morgan. They were two friends of mine, and I watched it. Two great actors, and then I sat down there, and then it was just fantastic. I mean, that pilot is like a major movie. So cameras everywhere. So anyway, then I joined the show, and it was great. And like I think the first scene I did was with you. I think it was like we were in this like little medical place, and it was after the helicopter thing.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
and I
two
was,
girls.
And I was really nervous. And I was really nervous, and I hadn't, I've been given the script, and I love the script and stuff like that. And we had a read-through for that episode, which we never do read-throughs for episodes, do we? So we had a read-through for that episode. And it went really well, and I sat next to Michael, and it was, it was like that thing. I say this a lot about the show, but it's true. It's like I walked onto the set, I walked into the studio, but not just the cast, but the crew, everybody. It's a really tight atmosphere down there. You're made to feel at home. Everybody wants you to be good. And that's not just as the actor, but as anybody working on the show. If you do your work.
That's not what they told me. They wanted me to be bad.
Yeah, they want us to be good. They want us to be
I tried my best to be good, but they kept pulling me back in.
They want us to be good at being bad. That's what they want us to be. So anyway, after that, the character was brilliant. But we get like one episode at a time. We don't know what's going on.
We don't know. It's a tight-knit family, because we're picking ticks off each other, okay? I swear, it's true.
Yeah.
You're out there in those woods, and you come back in, it's lunchtime, and you raise your shirt, and you're going like, oh no, somebody get this off.
So that was a wind-up. When on my first day I got there, the second day I got there, and we were all out in the woods somewhere, and it was where we were looking at the helicopter crash. Michael and I were in this mad van driving along, and him and a couple of other guys said, "Watch out for the snakes." And I went, "Yeah, sure." And I got out the van, and there was a snake there. And I went, "Oh my God, they're not lying." And one guy who was supposed to be dead suddenly jumped up and started running like Usain Bolt. And I was like, "That guy's got leather trousers on. Why's he got leather trousers? And it was just ants everywhere.
Oh, the red ants had gotten up his pants.
And he just ran like anything.
Yeah,
and then
it's in your pants, it happens.
and then there was another bit where we were doing the ambush, wasn't there? There was a bit with the ambush and you jumped up.
I got ants in my pants too. You're not shy when you got ants in your pants.
No.
First thing that happens.
No, we have seen things on that set that you wouldn't believe.
Are you recording this?
Got those ants. They're worse than the snakes, man.
Yeah. Ants, snakes, ticks, that's it.
Yeah.
Between yourself, Andrew Lincoln, Laurie Cohen, how many people are affecting American accents on that show that aren't Americans?
That's why you forgot me. Yeah, you know, I'm from Alabama.
Which is its own state itself.
It's hard on that.
I thought you were going to say Florida for a second.
There's three of us, and then there was Lenny as well.
That's right.
We stay in accent all the time, so that's great. But you know, as an actor, there's loads of things that you're asked to do that you're not naturally yourself.
Don't stay in accent all the
Well,
time.
me and Andrew do when we talk. Andrew stays
Every
in
now
accent.
and then he goes, hey,
Well,
man.
every now and again, yeah. Sometimes when I get covered in ants, the accent goes. That's right. When I see a snake, sometimes I don't swear in accents. When I'm running to get off the set, but no, Andrew and I stay in accent. I mean, when we're talking, but yeah, and the more you get used to it, the less you need to. But
I start, every now and then I start saying stuff like,
yeah, you get very British.
Al, your cue starts over there.
Yeah, we get
That
all
was
that.
really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really bad. Well, our DOP would always go into Cockney. All right, Governor. And that was.
Hello.
That used to. Hello, Governor. That used to throw me a bit. But we have a wonderful woman called Jessica Drake who looks after this accent. But, you know, yeah, as an actor, that's what you're doing all the time. You're doing accents, you're doing different characters, you're doing things, so it's great. But one thing that helped me, I think, and helps Andrew, is we film it where we're supposed to be. We film it in outside Atlanta. It's set there. It would be really hard to be doing that accent and it be in New York or something. It would be really, or LA.
Well, everyone, all the locals have accents and stuff like that. So you're sort of in the environment, so it's kind of cool.
You hear it, and that's really great. So, no, we get it.
We do have a couple of mics available if you want to start lining up for questions for both these gents. While we get those lines started, I do have one other question. There is a set ritual where if it's your last day, whether you've been killed and you're turned into a zombie or you get a sword through your head, whatever the case may be, where there's a last supper between those cast members. Did you guys get that as well? Because I heard that over and over, and I'm curious if you guys got the same luxury.
Did you get a Last Supper?
I think I lied, but I got one with Scott Wilson.
You got a Last
I
Supper?
did. You got one as well. I was at yours.
But my Last Supper was not even like a Last Supper, you know? I expected to be in the middle with everybody sort of spread out.
We gave him a Big Mac. We gave him a Big Mac and a round of applause. That's all we did with Mike. Yeah. By the way, you're off the show. But yeah,
That was Laurie. I had 3 weeks to adjust.
yeah.
Laurie had like 1 day.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way. Oh, are you changed yet?
Yeah.
You died today.
So
I swear. I don't know how I could
we
think of that.
yeah, we all got that. We got delivered the scripts. We get the scripts, and then you want to read the script alone. You usually get it at lunchtime, so you go in your trailer and you read it backwards. So you get to the end of the episode first and go, okay, I'm still alive at the end of it. So now I can go back to the beginning and read it. And we came out of our trailers and all the doors open, and Laurie's door was still closed.
No, I saw her door open.
yeah.
I saw it open and I saw it slam. Boom!
All right, I missed the slam. So yeah, I mean, you never know. But also, I think that's one of the great things about the show is you never know. You never know. That's why, it's not like a Star Trek thing where we beam down and the guy who you've never seen in the episode, you think he's not getting back to the Enterprise. It's like they kill off their leading characters, and you
never know.
You just never know. None of us are sort of booking long leases in Atlanta. That's the thing. So But I quite like that as well. It's like in a microcosm. It's like an actor's life because you never know. You never know how long you've got in any job I do. So it's just like,
You know, in between gigs for an actor. I guess I could say in the old days, because I used to, you know, I started doing it in about 83, and in those days, in between gigs, you're doing this.
waiting for it to ring.
Dude, there weren't even cell phones back then. I couldn't even go like this.
There weren't even phones.
I had to wait. My phone had a line to it that was hooked to the wall.
Movies didn't have sound when you...
We did not even have video back then. There was no video back then. I could not believe there's no video. There was no video.
I didn't know what you know.
Oh, the sound guys are loving you.
Some guy in the sound booth is now running around.
Anyway, we're going to have some questions here in a second. Is that true?
It is true. We'll start over here.
You guys are going to save our little keisters up here because we don't know what else to say.
Hey, David, loved you as the governor. You too.
My question wouldn't come any closer to the stage than I was usually.
My question was for both of you, actually. What was the most difficult scene?
Well, that's a way to get out of it.
What was the most difficult scene for you to shoot throughout your time on the show?
God, I don't know. Well, they're all enjoyable. I mean, they're usually difficult just for. I think the fight. In fact, the fight we had was quite difficult, wasn't it? The fight we had in the.
Fight we had was a pretty awesome fight. But how about the one you did with
Michelle?
Officer Friendly?
Oh yeah, the one I did with Andrew at the end. That was. I quite liked that one. That went on for ages. That was great. I love that.
I was amazed at how you recouped from that 44 Magnum in your shoulder, and you were able to throw right hook.
Just the way it goes, man. Just the way you've either got it or you haven't. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's it. No, but yeah, that was a tough fight. The one with Michelle was tough because of glass, that sort of glass coming in the eye.
Dealing with extra.
That was crazy. The one we had was tough because it was in a very crowded place. There was like everywhere you turned there'd be like bits of metal
And people.
People just running around.
Yeah.
The place was dirty and
Well, that was my big.
Michael,
I have a big
on that one.
yeah, with like breathing in dust from stuff that's been on the ground for the last 40 years. I'm not into that, okay? And so you better clean this place. As a matter of fact, I had them clean it again.
Yeah, we cleaned it.
I walked in, I said, clean it again. Walked out.
It was to do with the fact that there was, there'd been rats in that place and stuff like that. We're rolling around on it. I had to eat his fingers, you know what I mean? I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah. And there's like dust everywhere. When I'm go into these places and if I like kick my foot around and if I see clouds of dust going around, I'm like, ain't happening. Clean it. Stuff like that.
See, the scene
I don't like
the scene after that where Daryl sees Merle when he's on zombie fight, I thought that was one of the great scenes of that season.
That was a very
really
little rumble, yeah. And I, because I had the broken arm, even as a zombie, you can't really move things if they're broken. And, so I had to do this whole body language with the arm dangling thing.
How was the scene for you on the roof? That was pretty.
That was a good intense. I thought there was a pretty fair fight. It's 5 against 1. I thought it was fine.
But no, on the roof in the first season when you're on that in that heat, that must have been pretty.
Oh, when Andy Lincoln jumped into my right fist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he almost got his nose flattened a little bit because he comes. I hit him, and then he comes back over the railing, and I hit him again, and he's coming in, and I'm coming in, and we almost collided.
We do that a lot.
Yeah. Right. Things happen. Look, it's The Walking Dead. If you don't get hurt on The Walking Dead, You ain't doing it right.
The busiest person on our set is the unit nurse. And she never gives up.
Good question. Next.
Let's go over here.
Yes. My question is, I'm sure that you made pranks on each other to make time fly. What was the best prank you saw done?
We don't do no
Pranks. Things happen. I mean, things happen which aren't supposed to happen, which is basically, you're dropping things or something like that.
What do you think we are, Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I'm Walking Dead, baby. We don't do pranks on The Walking Dead.
We don't, And also the other thing is we have 8 days to shoot one episode.
Ain't no time to do pranks.
The time is not, there's not a lot of downtime really. We're filming all the time, we're rehearsing, we're going for it.
We barely have time to say, hey, could you get that tick off my neck?
Yeah. We don't have time to pick up each other's ticks. That's how bad it is. No, but it's seriously, we don't do a lot of, we have fun. I mean, it's not like we're just gloomy. We love it. It's great to do.
Every now and then we compete with BB guns behind the trailers. We did that. Did you do that?
We did a bit of that. Yeah, I did a bit of that.
Norman got pretty good with this.
Yeah, we did a little, but we tend to put that down to research.
That's true. That's true.
But, no, we don't. We have fun, but no, we don't have time for pranks because of the fact that we're just shooting all the time. It's tough. Thank you.
I'm not buying it for a minute. Right back over here.
Hi, my question is for David Morrissey. In the show, you have a really close relationship with Milton. Can you kind of elaborate on how that began?
And that began in the writer's room. So they created this character Milton, which was played by the wonderful Dallas Roberts, and we got on really well. That was the first thing. I met Dallas, and it was my first, time, and his first time on the show, and everybody else knew each other, so we sort of bonded because we were the new guys. And he's a very funny man, Dallas. He's a really great guy. And we just got on, so we started to bounce off each other, and I think the writers saw that, so they wrote it up a little bit. And then the team was me, Michael, and Dallas, and of course, three different guys, and then Jose as well. So there was all of us. It was all very different, and it was a really great team because we all had very clear functions in the gang. We all knew what we wanted to do, and there was tension between Dallas and Michael, and I was in the middle of that, and then there was Jose in there trying to, the great fight that Jose and Michael had in the arena. That was great. So we all had our roles to play, and we got on very well. The other thing I think you can see on the screen is that we all get on, and Dallas brought some sort of geekiness to that as well. And
He's just a friendly guy,
yeah.
He's like, as soon as you meet him, you're like, don't be so friendly. Don't be so nice.
He's not built for the world. That's the other thing about the thing about Milton is he's just not built for the Walking Dead world. So for everybody else, you can get this guy out of there. But he's a scientist. That's what he's doing.
Good question.
Right back over here.
Hi, for Mr. Rooker, will there be any new Daryl flashbacks with you in it?